Hello everyone, tonight for our senior class in Runeterra Academy, I am TDS, your color caster, but tonight I'm doing the introduction while we wait for our main caster Sid, PvP, to be back here with us. Right now, the draft has already started. We have New Age Shadows against Ithaca College, and this should be an interesting match. Third place against sixth place. These two teams are looking to get some wins as well to go into the later stages of the league and try and get momentum going towards the big teams number one and number two. So hopefully we see some good games. And like you can see, three bans already for the side of New Age Shadows, Gragas, Lysandra, and Israel. And on the side of Ithaca, we have Kindred, Bane, and the last ban, which it's still not sure what it could be. Okay, Shen, which now we see it is those bans. Interestingly, I like the bans. I'm surprised with the Israel since Israel has fallen a lot in priority in comparison to previously because of the standard nerf, so I'm not sure if I'm okay with seeing him ban more than he was before, or than he could be now. But at least it's good that they are still keeping that in mind. And now it's a Galio first pick for New Age Shadows and a Karma Hecarim for Ithaca College. I really like the Karma, just overall as a support champion or as a champion that you can flex in all positions. It's such a good champion to have, and I really like to see the priority in that champion. And the Hecarim is a really great champion to pair with her, just because of the movement speed boost that he will get, and he will be able to use that in a more exceptional fashion in comparison to other junglers, so I like this pairing. And on the side of New Age Shadows, picking Lee Sin and Sylas. I'm really surprised seeing the Sylas so early, just because you typically want to see the Sylas come in after they show really good champions with really good ultimates, something that you can have full effect on with the Sylas. Right now, just the Hecarim, it's kind of the main ultimate that you can steal and can have full use of. And then the Lee Sin. Lee Sin was recently nerfed, so his value fell off quite a lot in comparison to how he was previously. He's no longer one of the most contested or priority picks in the meta, either in top lane or mid lane. He can still be used there, but his usefulness has fallen a lot in comparison. And I think that the Sylas and the Galio pretty much is saying that the Lee Sin is probably going towards the jungle and not the solo lanes, but we still need yet to see. And now coming to the second ban rotation, Varus and Senna. I like the Varus ban. Varus right now, with what happened to Israel and the way that you can play Varus in the meta, either with lethality, with attack speed, or any other variation of the Varus that you typically know, it's such a good champion to have and such a useful AD carry overall. You can win lane phase with him, and he can scale towards the later stages of the game still as the other AD carry. So I like the champion a lot, and I like seeing him ban if you don't want to risk it the other team being able to play it. And a lot of AD carry bans coming through with the Samira and the Jinx later. I like those bans, but Kai'Sa is still open. There's still other good options. So that now with the Kai'Sa, Tristana can be an option to try and answer. And if you pair her with a really good engaged support, you can have such a kill threat bot lane against the Kai'Sa particularly, which can suffer a lot from the early game. So I want to see what New Age Shadows ends up deciding here. But Their Ithaca College is giving now the last pick and counter pick most likely to their top laner, which I really like seeing because if you can have a really advantageous matchup on top lane, which can be the Gwen still, there's no actual telling if the Gwen is going to be left open or not. And that way you can just have so many carry threats and so much carry potential through each of the three lanes, which will be really nice from Ithaca College. But now New Age Shadows waiting for the last pick. We still need to see if it's a top laner, a support, or a jungler even. But the Tristana pick came through against the Kaisa like I think we expected. So overall, really normal pick ban phase. Cho'Gath coming in lastly. So it is going to be a Lee Sin jungle, and it is a Galio support. And the Cho'Gath now in top lane, I really like Cho'Gath overall as a champion just because the champion is a neutralizing champion. It can deny way too many things out of the opposing top laner, and you can if you can survive, your utility will just grow exponentially over time, and you can do way more things than in comparison to other top laners. I think he's one of the better tanks, even though he doesn't have really you really easy to execute engage, but he can still be really useful. And his infinite scaling with the R passive, with the health that he will get as long as he can consume objectives, it's going to be so useful. And you can also delete carries so easily the more health you have. So overall, I really like the champion. And now a Braum last pick. That will mean that the karma is going towards top lane, that will give priority in top lane for the Hecarim to try and do anything. But this is a matchup that the Cho'Gath can pretty much survive as because Karma shouldn't be able to kill. Yes, she will be able to just continuously push the Cho'Gath out, but it shouldn't be that detrimental for the Cho'Gath, and you can survive that matchup. Overall, I feel like the focus should be going towards mid lane and bottom lane because there's way too much volatility in what each side can do and what each jungler can do. Lee Sin wants to try and get ahead as fast as possible, and there may be some cheeky gang going towards top lane because yes, Karma can keep on the push, but she's a squishy champion, so you need to be really careful if you're playing here because if you get hit by a knockup once from the Cho'Gath, you may be in a really detrimental position and you may end up dying. So there's also that consideration going through, but I would expect these two teams to leave top lane alone as long as possible and try and play around bot lane and middle lane as much as they can and try and secure early objectives like the dragon and ignore Herald as much as possible with that. Mhm. Overall, I'm still expecting to see a really chaotic and bloody game, yeah. A really chaotic and bloody game at the start, just because you typically don't pick Lee Sin if you are not going to actually try and play the early game. But I see Sandbag is one of the junglers that will try to play the early game as much as possible. He wants to go towards lanes. He wants to gank. He has a lot of kill participation in terms of just the jungle position. And that is really crucial because that means that he tries to spend time going towards the lane and trying to make them be as far ahead as they can. Even though their goal differential is not that good, I still feel like Ithaca College is trying to play the early game so that they can just snowball directly into the late game. And I feel like their composition that they drafted will have a more easy time transitioning into the later stage of the game just because double AD carry with Karma and the Hecarim, their scaling is more well balanced out in comparison to what the side of New Age Shadows did. Cho'Gath, yeah, he can scale. Tristana, yeah, he can scale. But the value from Galio, Sylas, and Lee Sin will fall in comparison. And sadly, Sylas doesn't have exceptionally good ultimates to steal, like the Hecarim, like the Braum are the main two because Corky's, Kaisa's, and Karma's ultimates are not that valuable for the Sylas. And if he doesn't have those ultimates that will add value to him in the longer stages of the game, then his value falls considerably. He's right now he's going to be spiking come mid game, and they the side from New Age Shadows need to do something either in early game or mid game that can just push them forwards and forwards. Because if they wait way too much and give an opportunity for the side of Ithaca College to be able to fight in the later stages of the game, then they should fall really easily, especially because of the 280 carries and the karma that can support so easily. But with that, and hopefully soon enough, Sid can join us. I'll leave this as soon as we enter the game so that we can have the buffer for the stream to go on. We have the pause, so don't leave. Stay with us and use your predictions both for each team, which team you think is going to win, and stay with us.
Alrighty, guys, welcome back to Runeterra Academy senior class matchup between New Age Shadow and Ithaca College?
Yeah.
Ithaca. Alrighty, so representing New Age Shadow, we have Bushi in the top lane playing Cho'Gath. We have Salver, Ark, we're gonna call him Ark. We got Ark in jungle, gonna be playing Lee Sin. We have Alterest in mid lane on Silas. Cockmaw gonna be playing Tristana in AD carry role, and Mike Nike 13 gonna be supporting him and rounding out that team comp with Galio. Now representing Ithaca College, we have Elerion in top or Ithaca. It's Ithaca, whatever. There's no I there. It's ITHACA. What do you?
I
Unless it's
see.
misspelled. Unless it's friggin' misspelled on the title. Um, we have Icy Sandbag going to be jungling in the Heck Room. Jungling Heck Room. We have Garfield Lazaga in mid
Oh,
lane Corki. We have Icy Clouds going to be playing Ace on that A carry role. And Man Walrus rounding out the team comp, supporting him with that Braum. And we have a banger of a game set up for you. 1 and 2 for New Age Shadow coming into this. I believe they literally are coming off a loss from like fresh off for like a half an hour. Is that correct?
yeah. I
So
think it's pretty much that.
they're fresh off a loss.
Which should boost them towards winning this. It's what we expect.
And
But
they're coming with a
overall,
late invade, actually, going to be stealing away that red buff.
and I really like this late invade. They waited really long for in the tribush, in the pixel bush on the river, and then just went in with a sweeper. That interestingly, it's the Kai'Sa that has the sweeper. So I really like this adaptation because now the support is more likely to back before the AD carry backs. So he will have the access towards the sweeper later on anyway. And when the AD carry backs, he can have the ward back up again, so he won't lose that much. And this way, you can just prompt it so that you can have the most effectivity out of it. And now they know that he stole it. But listen, is coming
And
here.
here comes, actually,
Oh,
Sandbags is going to be knocked up. Here comes the Sonic Wave
got
going to
here.
land, and then it's going
Oh,
to be a
wait.
shield coming through. Great flash there by
Oh.
Silver, but he leaving his mid laner alone. Alterest not going to be able
Can he
to
get the kill?
get away. He can't break vision. The flash away.
Oh, he
Oh, the
got it.
chain's not going to land as the dash goes through, but First Blood going over to Corki. I think if Silver hadn't used the oh wait a second, Sonic Wave gonna land, but not gonna go in onto Sandbag. If he hadn't used that safeguard there, Chains is gonna hit onto Garfield's Lazaga, but
Jeez.
gonna be able to walk away there no problem.
Oh, wait, counter?
Exhaust coming through, and Kokma is gonna be having to flash heal away as now the
Brum.
knockup is gonna land, and Braum gonna be able to assist with Clouds getting that kill. Gonna be using the Flash Winter's Bite to guarantee that kill goes through. And Clouds coming out with a nice kill for himself, and bot lane is
Oh, wait,
to make it 2-0 so far.
With all the action, I was already expecting that Elrond would have died there, but overall, really nice trades on mid lane. Like you were saying, I think Silver utilized either his flash way too early or the safeguard way too wrongly, so that he was going to save the Silas, but the Silas was already flashing away. So the effectivity fell a lot off, and instead the Hecarim was able to just run away, and the Corki could get the answer kill really easily on the Silas that didn't have flash and couldn't run away fast. So that was overall a kind of a misplay from the side of the Lee Sin and the Hecarim.
I think it was also. I think a lot of it was actually he needed to decide you can't safeguard and then abandon the person you safeguard against a Corki. Corki's just going to use Valkyrie and get right back on top of him. So if he's going to choose to safeguard to save his mid laner, he needs to sit there and protect his mid laner and walk him out hand in hand.
That's the key thing.
And so it's like he tried to make the cake and eat it, so to speak, by saving his mid laner and trying to pick up the kill, but wasted too many resources, split the resources, and wasn't able to get anything out of it. Chains is going to land onto Garfield's Lazaga, but trade back from the Corki.
Yeah, and Lee Sin is once again going towards her. Like you were saying, it's just indecision at the end of the day because he ended up trying to do way too much and just gave away too much as well. And that can happen sometimes if communication is not completely true. I think like if they could communicate, the Silas communicates before that he's going to flash away, then Lee Sin can just focus on getting the kill. And I think that would have been better. And I think you can even give the kill from the Silas away just because it's better to have the Lee Sin spike early on than to just try and save your mid laner.
Mm-hmm.
At least in that particular play. And we saw the bot lane moving up after they were able to just push the wave and try to secure something, but they are
Ooh,
just
Man
trying to
Walrus
secure
is going
positions.
to
Oh,
immediately get taunted up, gets the shield
he's
up in time,
alone.
so it's going to be taking a lot of less damage, but Man Walrus is
Oh,
going to be able to get a
yeah.
nice armor, but it doesn't matter. The armor and magic resist not going to be enough. A great buffer there to stop the stun from locking him down, and Kokma going to survive.
Yeah, and a little way too far forward on Walrus alone without the support from Clouds. He was getting that pink ward down, trying to clear. I think there was a ward previously there, and because of that, he gets just jumped on really easily. And yes, you can block damage as a prom, but if you are alone, you will get hit by a lot. So you need to be really careful. He was instantaneously bursted out, even with the shield up.
Absolutely. So I mean, obviously we've been seeing a lot of action all across the map for the most part.
Yeah.
Where do you expect for the remainder of this lane phase, both junglers should be focusing, and why do you think that?
I think mid lane can still be an important point. Oh, wait. That's a risk?
Garfield, oh my gosh, Altras.
Yes, ultimate.
Okay, never mind, we're
If it
good.
was a
We're good.
more valuable ultimate, could have been a kill.
So yeah, so back to my question: where do you think the junglers should be prioritizing at this stage of the game, and why?
I was thinking they could still just focus towards mid lane because I feel like Alterist can have kill pressure on the Corki. Yes, Corki has Valkyrie, but if he gets on top of the Corki, then he can just be a sitting dog and kill him so easily. And he has the wave set up really well, so he should be able to just make the Lee Sin want to come here and get the kill. And I feel like if they are able to get a kill on a Sylas or on the Lee Sin, then they can still try and run off with this. Oh, wait,
Here's a
Alterist.
it's gonna be a solo kill coming up for Alterest using the flash dash chains coming through. That abscond abduct gonna be doing so much work for the gap closing department, and
Yeah.
finally that Kingslayer auto gonna be able to finish him off.
Yeah, and I was talking about Silver just going there and helping. It turns out he doesn't need help. He can just flash on top of the Corki and kill him. The flash from the Corki was a little bit far from the actual timing of the Sylas, so he couldn't just flash away. And I think crucially, what really set that up was the fact that the lane was always in such a bad position for the Corki. The Corki could never work forward without actually being in threat of dying. So it was all a really nice setup from Alteres, and that ended up giving the kill. But they still need to try and get something more because although the gold is equal and they are still getting some things in the map and other objectives, they need to get an advantage. You have a Lee Sin and a Sylas that will fall off eventually, so you need to try and get something out of them, especially at this point and before 15 minutes around that time.
Mm-hmm. The thing is like, I don't know. I feel like they have so much damage, but they don't have a lot of survivability for the side of IC. Like, you have decent engage with Hecarim, but that's your only engage. If Hecarim ever misplays, you're basically just screwed. And it's going to be really, really hard to get past a Galio and a Cho'Gath to be able to deal your damage. However, on the flip side of it, okay, well, Kaplan is going to be trading, I guess you could call it that. Going to be hitting him, going to be able to use the tether to get some of the knock. Oh, but the knockup is actually going to go through. Chain's not quite going to land as Eleron is going to survive. But I mean, there's decent poke from IC. No real engage outside of like Lee Sin coming into the backside with the Sonic Wave and then Mike Knight ulting onto him. Which isn't the greatest form. Neither side really has that great of engage. Hecarim is pretty solid for sure, but yeah, I don't see.
Oh, wait, speed.
Oh, this is going to be a nice double taunt here as the jump forward and Killer Instinct going to be used. Man Walrus is going to be knocked out by the chains as he is able to jump away. Great job on that buffer, but here comes the exhaust and the tether knock. Beautifully played by the bot lane for IC.
Yeah, but to me, man, Walrus was the main man in getting that disengage. The ultimate really well at the time of the Galio and the Tristana jumping on top of the Kai'Sa, so you cancel those two cooldowns, those two engages really nicely, and the Kai'Sa then is able to just jump away on the side of the wall that you can just run away really easily on, and then Walrus, okay, Tristana, a lot of damage. Yeah, and then Walrus is able to just jump away with the flash towards the minion, and even though it gets buffered the stun on top of the Brom, he can just still keep on running away. And then he gets the exhaust to be able to get the distance with the movement speed difference so that he doesn't get stunned by the tether from the Karma ultimate.
do you think has the advantage in the late game here? Because I'm honestly thinking about it, and it's just like they have late game insurance with the Kaisa and with the Corki, but at the same time, it's like you have late game pieces, but your overall team comp is kind of. I mean, both overall team comps are kind of just.
To some degree, they're all over
Meh.
the place.
It just leaves a lot to be desired.
Yeah, I can see that. I honestly feel like there could have been better adaptations that you can draw on. Oh wait, Alterus?
Here comes the Ghost and the Hecarim coming through. Ultras not even trying, not going to get feared up by that at all. Going to be able to use the Kingslayer on Sandbag. And here comes the Grand Entrance through. And oh my goodness, Mike Knight is going through. Beautiful Kingslayer from Ultras. That's going to be the kill. Almost going down. The big one not going to be available from Corki, or that would have killed.
Wait.
Here is, oh my gosh, a great flash kick there. Good Dragon Strike. Or not, is it Dragon Strike? It was Dragon's Rage. Dragon Strike, that's what I thought. Dragon Strike is Jarvan Q.
Wait, really? Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't know that, actually.
Yeah, everyone just calls it the Flag and Drag. But yeah, it's Demacian Standard into, or Dragon Strike into Demacian Standard, for Demacian Standard into Dragon or Strike. Dragon, yeah, whatever. Okay. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
The champion's not in the game.
Correct.
Almost dodging into that Winter's Bite.
Yeah, but like we were saying, what is in the game is the Lee Sin, which did a really nice combo there to secure the kill on the Corki. Wait, Kog'Maw?
Kog'Maw going to be going very aggressive there, and he is actually going to be rocket jumping forward, but it doesn't matter because Kog'Maw, oh my gosh, I see Clouds is going to see, I see a kill, and Elrond going to be trying to escape here. One last auto attack. Oh my gosh, the empowered tether there for a massive heal, but just not going to be enough.
That was way too close for comfort, in my opinion. Both in bot lane and in top lane, the Karma almost is able to run away, but still is able to run away. They have the Herald on top lane, so they should be able to take this turret down. Okay. They should be able to take this turret down. Karma shouldn't be TPing top, although Corki is here. Wait.
There's the package going to be coming through, and actually Silver is going to be the target, going to go absolutely destroy. Ooh, Valkyrie going to be canceled by the knockup. Honestly, I think he should have just waited. Should have waited for the Rupture to go through, and then Valkyrie over. Wouldn't have gotten knocked up, wouldn't have gotten slowed, and that would have probably actually resulted in getting a kill on Bushi.
At least a flash. But yeah, he could have waited a little bit. Oh, Karma. Yeah, but overall, I didn't expect Corki to have package there. With that, he's able to get the kill on the Lee Sin. Lee Sin was already low. They haven't used the Herald yet, so they still have that possibility of using it somewhere, but they needed to use it in the next 2 minutes, because if not, the value, not even next 2 minutes, in the next minute, because if not, the value from the Herald just falls tremendously off. Wait,
yeah, well, Alterus and Elrond are going to be trading back and forth. Alterus going in, and Elrond going to be getting rooted as well. Both Alterus, and here comes the great flash there by Alterus, but here comes the fear not going to actually land, as Alterus is going to be able to knock up Sandbag, going to be able to hit him with the Kingslayer. The tether is going to land. Kingslayer not quite available, and that is going to be the shutdown going over to the Hecarim. Rocket jump forward, and he's going to be able to rocket jump his way out, but taking a lot of damage there.
Yeah, and that bot lane, although the level 2 fumble happened, they have been just going in and in and in against the Kaisa and have been able to kill her, even on top of the Braum shield. So overall, it's just been really well played. They need to drop the Herald round. There's 15 seconds, you need to get the plates at any time, so it's either drop it here or not drop it. Yeah, I think they should be able to secure this down. Yeah.
It definitely will. It does two plates worth of damage. It's 2k, so...
No, I was waiting to see if it was before the timer runs down.
Oh,
because it was 5 seconds. Yeah, I was seeing if 5 seconds was enough or not, but yeah, they are able to get it. They should be able with this to now just move the Tristana towards mid lane and try and take down that turret as well, or they can just send her top lane as well and try and do something there. But I think at this point, before 15, they can just send her mid lane.
You know, I think that if Bushi gets Warmogs here, no amount of poke from IC is actually going to matter, as we see the Kingslayer going on to Garfield's Lasagna. It's going to just Valkyrie away. But yeah, you know, if we see Bushi pick up a Warmogs here, I don't think that IC really, their poke is really going to matter when it gets to the late game.
Yeah, I agree.
Just because the sheer size of Cho'Gath is going to be there.
Yeah. The Warmog will be more important. I agree with that. I think it should be something that has to be picked, specifically because the Cho'Gath has to be the one standing in front, and he has to be the one soaking damage. So having him being able to just move between forward and backwards a lot will enable him to not have to abandon anyone at any point.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Altruist.
And here comes the knock-up and the taunt coming through. And that's actually the chains landing. Sandbag is going to be able to get the fear onto him, and the ult away from Altarest, who's very, very low. Going to be able to heal up using some of those honey fruit. Yeah, actually, that's okay. So we saw Mike Knight do something just now, which has always been a pet peeve of mine. If you're gonna like pretend like you're gonna recall, or you're gonna start recalling, like, I mean, obviously the call was to not recall anymore, to go, get vision. But Mike Knight fully intended to recall. If you're planning on recalling, why are you taking the honey fruit from somebody who's much, much lower than you?
It may be what is called, I want to say custom. Yeah, it may be just something that you take out of the solo, out of solo queue, that you just usually
Even
do it and you kind of
Even
do
in
it.
solo queue, you have
Like,
it.
it's not good. It's not good, but it's kind of the. I think that you just repeat so much that you kind of see the fruit and have to take it to some degree.
I mean,
Even
I get it, but
oh,
even still, here comes Kingslayer and the chains. Oh, great chains. Their root's going to land as well, and that is going to be Garfield's Lasagna going down.
I really don't like that name, Lasagna. Lasaga.
Lasagna.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not lasagna, though. It's Lasaga.
I was expecting. Yeah, but I just. Please just say lasagna. It just bothers me so much. Kind of a little bit it irks me on the wrong side, and I don't like that. But okay, La Saga.
I will do my best. Garfield lasagna.
No, I will just call him La Saga from now on. Not even Garfield, just La Saga.
Lasaga. All right, his name is officially. Listen, man, if you get a nickname from us, it's probably because we either didn't pronounce your name right the first time and we just are sticking with it at that point. You might correct us, but unfortunately, we probably won't remember.
Or if you correct us, it will be way too late already.
Yeah, it's too late. Sonic Wave is going to miss, but Cho'Gath is getting engaged on by Sandbag, and I don't think Sandbag wants this. He will get beaten down by Bushi on this Cho'Gath. Mike Knight going to be trying to run away, and oh my gosh, a great package going forward as Silver is going to be getting absolutely destroyed. Going to be able to have a nice score drinker, but it's not going to matter as that's going to be 3 members from NAS getting absolutely blasted. Kokma, what are you doing? Just walk it out with your Cho'Gath, buddy.
And that is legitimately the reason why they lost that fight. Kog'Maw was down with the Cho'Gath, so they just engaged on the other 3 members, and there wasn't going to be that much damage to be able to answer. The Corki just goes in after chunking out Mike Knight, and then everyone else follows up. The Kai'Sa went in, the Hecarim went in, and the Karma was able to just provide the shields from afar. So they just won that fight comfortably because the AD carry from the enemy team, Kog'Maw, was never in close proximity to actually be able to fight. Oh no, Cho'Gath.
Is she gonna get hit by the Winter's Bite? Walking blind through here. He's not blind, but...
Also, I think we need to talk about the fact that this is going to be a Mountain Soul. So that can, to some degree, make it so that your team can be tankier. So even though you don't have an actual tank, and Hecarim will probably function like a tank in the long run, he will be most of your members will work with that.
He's not tanky at all. He does have sustain though, which is great for the bonus resistances that Mountain Soul gives. If you have a lot of resistances but not a lot of HP, but you have the healing to back it up, that's okay. You just have to hope you don't get burst before you can use your healing. It's always the argument of theoretically having lifesteal. It's like, it's great if you can actually get off the lifesteal, but if you're getting burst down, that lifesteal's not actually going to help you, and you're actually just having useless stats at that point.
Yeah, you wasted your gold on something that you cannot actually proc. It's also kind of like the not only lifesteal but anti-heal. When yes, you can have anti-heal, but how reliably can you proc it? So you have to actually consider those kinds of things, because if not, just raw damage and getting someone bursted out can be more valuable than thinking that you can out-heal them or cancel their heals out. Also, quickly speaking on the healing thing, I think Karma can have a little bit of a slow state. Karma, for me, is going to be one of the main factors in if the side of Ithaca College can win the late game. because yes, although you don't have an actual engage.
Good
Oh wait,
Everfrost onto two people. Kog'Maw, what are you doing? Gonna have to heal. Here comes the Killer Instinct, the flash forward for instantly from Clouds. Clouds gonna be able to beat him to the bloody pulp. Garfield's Lazaga is going through, and the backside is Clouds is going to have to heal finally now, but Silver is going to be taking a lot of damage, and Clouds just having great kiting is going to be able to stun up the Mike Knight, going to get a knock up onto Elrond and the backside, but Sandbag is going to be doing so much. Oh no, you took that Sonic Wave, why? And Ultra is going to be under. Why would you? My mind's telling me no, but my body just oh, the Lee syndrome is real, man. Lee syndrome is real.
Yeah, and you hate to see it, but it does happen. Even players that are higher up will fall for this. They throw the Q and they will follow it. Oh wait, Cho'Gath, out to rest.
Yeah, he's gonna be able to go into the backside. He's gonna be able to survive a little bit. Clouds is gonna fall here, and they are going to reset the dragon. Hopefully here, no, it's only partially reset. As they're going to be able to go back onto it. It's going to be 2 for 1. And now Kog'Maw has joined Fray. No, because Exhaust is going to be enough to absolutely destroy it. It's going to be a triple kill for IC Sandbag on that Hecarim. And now Mike Knight says, oh, I would like to run it down. Thank you. 1 at a time, please.
Yeah, no, he reconsiders. La Saga knows that someone may come in as well, so he just runs away. But the controversial run in 1 at a time and see if you can get something out of that ends up failing. You give away 2 kills. Yes, you kill the Kaisa. That's cute, but you end up giving away 2 kills. Then Kog'Maw dives in to die as well, and you gave away now the Baron. And I think, considerably, the factor is that the 2 AD carries that will have to carry the game in the longer stages now are farther ahead than their counterparts, and they will be able to play this game really well with this. And this is a point that I wanted to go into. Karma is going to be, for me, the crucial factor in how they play this late game, because Karma can just shield the carry so well that you cannot actually engage towards them. So
yeah,
even though you don't have a troll engage.
Absolutely. And that shield on top of the Mountain Soul, which we brought up earlier, is going to make this team way tankier than they should be. What is generally a squishy team becomes a lot tankier between Mountain Soul and Elrond. But here comes the Root, is going to go through an Ultra. Oh my gosh, Garfield was rates it back with 5 HP left! Silver going in, but it doesn't matter. He's going to be caught between a rock and a hard place. He's trying to go forward, and Killer Instinct going to be used a great double taunt, but here comes the Hecarim. Going to be saving his life on the backside. Tristan is not going to be able to rocket jump away. Icy Clouds is going to be trying to get... He does get knocked up, a triple knock up, but it's not going to be enough here, as Bushi is the only member alive. Going to be rat-a-tat-tat all the way down by Icy Clouds, and the credit is going to go over to the Divine Senderer, Hecarim, and that is going to be a 5-0 ace in favor of Icy Clouds. Or, well, not more than Icy Clouds, but Icy.
Yeah, I see, just in general. And they are seeing the game close to coming to an end. The Hecarim goes for the Drake, which I think it's the smarter play overall, but I think you could have probably tried and finished just because you have 2 AD carries, but maybe they won't commit as hard because they are 4 members. Yeah, they're going to leave and just go for the Drake. And going into that teamfight, after what happened on bot lane, La Saga being able to kill the Altruist, even though it was so close, the damage from the Corki was going to be able to be higher just because he's 1 level ahead and he has more access to damage. Even though he survived by the skin of the Seed, it's that extra level that helped him to survive, as well as the stats from the Drake as well, which helped. And then
between the damage and the HP, everything.
Yeah, and then going to the fight mid lane. Oh wait, Eliron, you're alone. I know, Corki's here, maybe?
It is alone. Corki has package. This is going to be totally fine. Now going to be the target. Oh, Garfield is going to be able to get across. Lazaga could go back, and dear lord, the survivability from this Karma is kind of disgusting. 18 stacks on that Magi's.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's actually the Magi's just giving her the extra power, or it's just the Magi's just giving her power, that's all. I'm kind of confused with that, but now she picks up an Ardent Sensor and 2 AD carries with extra attack speed. I don't think it's going to get much better than that for them, apart from actually getting more items, but overall, like you can see that that's a tank, and the Kai'Sa is just dealing so much damage to the Cho'Gath.
And man, I think NAS at this point in the game, it's a 10,000 gold lead, 24.5, almost 25 minutes in. Realistically, I think oh gosh, Bushi is so low. Yeah. Here comes the Killer Instinct. That's exactly what we expected. Cloud's going to be able to get the solo kill onto Bushi, not respecting it at all. No Warmogs completed, actually opting into going ability power, which I question greatly, personally.
Yeah,
Um,
especially because you're not going to that particular build feels like he was going to go Everfrost and then he was feeling the pain from the 80 damage and decided to go for Frostfire. Because those components, yeah, those go for Cosmic Drive, but Cosmic Drive is not that much valuable in comparison to just going Everfrost as a mythic
well,
and having
not
that.
only that, but you need 160 ability power to actually get it
Yeah,
going. And he definitely does not have 160 AP at this point in the game.
and I don't think at any point in the game, unless he
Like,
goes full for
does
AP.
he not realize that he doesn't get that unless he doesn't get the extra ability haste and move speed unless it happens, or
Maybe he's just valuing the raw stats, which is not good,
yeah,
honestly.
it's not
But
gold efficient at all. That's a
but
massive shield, by the way.
yeah, it's two shields.
Knockup gonna land on the Karma. Silence coming through, but it doesn't matter. Bushi is gonna be the front line. I would have loved to see Bushi with the Warmogs here, but be able to soak up all of that poke, back off for 5 seconds, and just heal it all the way back up.
Yeah, and the reality is that with the Warmog, you can just, like you were saying, soak the poke, and the wave will come through before later
Exactly.
than you actually regenerate the health. So it's
Exactly.
going to give you more value in the long run.
Even if you get chunked to half HP, it does not matter because you're able to just walk it back when the next wave comes through. Like right now, it could be at full HP, but here
Oh,
comes the
Hikarim.
engagement onto the back. Double fear on the back.
Oh,
Great
Tristana.
ultimate coming through. Tristana is going to be completely destroyed. Only a one knockup on a Braum here. Triple or double knockup as Icy Clouds is going to be able to dodge it here. We're going to right stun coming out from Mike Knight. And Ultras is going to be dying off the backside on the bottom of our screen as the knockup comes through. But Lee Sin falls as well. Now it's just Bushi alive, but he's going to get stunned by the Braum passive, and that is going to be 5 more kills for nothing, and that looks like it's going to be the game. 1 going over to IC.
Yeah, and I was just about to comment on the fact that that was going to be the hardest point because they didn't have any real engage to be able to go in. And just like that, Hecarim gets a shield from the Karma, goes in, ultimates, secludes the Tristana out of the teamfight, and it's just such an easy win for the side of IC after that. Overall, it's just a really nice played game from them. And this is something that at the start of the game I was fearing for the side of New Age Shadows. Yes, they have good pieces, but if they don't snowball really hard at the start, come late mid game and late game, it was going to be harder for them because there's two AD carries and the karma values just skyrocket way out of control. And
Yeah,
also,
and
it
they
just felt
spike
bad.
super hard in the
Yeah,
mid game as well. Once Corki gets what is it, a 2-item power spike basically, which he had as soon as the Mirror Mana transforms and as soon as he had that Divine Thunder, he just does so much damage.
yeah.
Granted, he was very very fed that game having the rapid fire cannon and sitting on 2k gold when that game ended. So it's like extremely fed regardless. They spiked so hard, and because New Age Shadow was behind right when the power spike happened, it just made it look even more lopsided.
Yeah, and also something that really affected the way that the game just ended up going out of control for the side of IC was the stacking of the dragons. They were able to
Absolutely.
secure such an early soul point and then just an early mountain soul. I think it was 3 minutes after they secured the Drake, so the Baron. So it was around 24 minutes, 25 minutes when they already had everything going for them. So
Yep.
a late game composition is spiking way before they actually need to spike. It was just going to be so hard for the side of New Age Shadows to counter them so easily.
Yep, absolutely. Well, guys, that is going to be the end of game 1 in this best of 3. Don't go anywhere because we will be right back with game number 2. Alrighty, guys, welcome back for game number 2 between New Age Shadow and Ithaca College. And we are already underway. Kindred, Vayne, and Shen banned away for Ithaca as New Age Shadow has already banned away the Karma, Corki, and Gragas, 2 picks from the last game, completely wiped off the table. Not surprised to see either of those picks gone. Very, very oppressive in the last game.
Yeah, I'm more surprised. I'm a little bit more surprised with the Corki, but yeah, I think it's better to just take those two away, specifically Karma, just because of how much flexibility she can provide. But the Corki didn't seem like a pick that they could answer, so I liked seeing it right away. And Ithaca goes for the Israel first pick, a champion that was banned in the last game. Israel is an interesting champion right now in the current patch, just because Sunder was nerfed towards for him specifically, and yes, he didn't lose that much power, but his value as a champion because of that nerf fell down a little bit. So I don't see him in the same light that was before, but he is still a valuable champion. He's still a useful champion, and he can still be played. It's just that we need to see if they are going to stick with the Sunder or go for the alternative builds that the Israel has. And on the other side, New Age Shadows going for the Hecarim and the Kog'Maw. I like the Kog'Maw, honestly.
Yeah, I do too. I think that even though it was nerfed specifically for Ezreal, I still think he is top 5 in 80 carries. He's not the standalone number 1 anymore, so he's not pick or ban every single game. But I still do think he's top 5, if not top 3 80 carries in the game at the moment, even with that particular nerf. You know, even before Divine Sunder got buffed, Ezreal was still one of the strongest 80 carries around, so they brought it down in power, but it's still stronger than it was before. So Ezreal is still, I think Ezreal is still a very strong champion.
Yeah, he is a champion. It's just that he as a champion provides a lot for AD carries to be able to play the game, and that's something that they value a lot. And the builds that he has as alternatives are not bad, because Trinity Force was also buffed recently, so it's not like he loses on that front. And the main build that more people were going for, which was the Dust Blade of Raktar, it's still viable for him. So it's not like he will lose a lot of power. It's just that he lost being the number 1, but he can. I think he's fine going into number 2, number 3, number 4. That's still perfectly viable for him. One thing that I want to mention on Ithaca's side is that they took away the Lulu, and I really like that they took it away as fast as they can, because the Kog'Maw with the Lulu, specifically those two champions pairing up, it's really strong. So only having the Kog'Maw, although Kog'Maw can still be valuable and he can still do a lot of damage, losing the Lulu can make his value drop a little bit and can be more easy to counter.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah, I would agree with that pretty heavily. Now, actually, the bans are going to be pretty much finished up here. We have the Cho'Gath band and Lysandra band for NAS here, and it looks like Ithaca College has banned out Orin and hovering the Silas. I wouldn't be surprised if that Silas was banned away simply because it's it can be extremely abusive under the right circumstances.
Yeah, and I think specifically in this game, like in the last game, he was causing trouble for the Corki, so he was an still usable champion. And I feel like this game, he already has way better ultimates to steal than in the previous game. So this could have been worse if you leave the Silas open. And New Age Shadows going for the picture, going for a more controlled mage in the mid lane, and I think that's already telling us that they want to fight as a 5v5 unit, so they probably would like to go for something tankier in the top lane, maybe an engaged tank that they can go for, or a Camille. I feel like it's the other option. And 6 coming through, I really like that they are going for the 6. This poke combo that they have with the 6 Ezreal is really nice, and the Nocturne, although Nocturne is a really good diver, he in reality doesn't need to dive, but instead can just use the Paranoia to make it harder for the poke to be missed, and then you can try and burst someone with the 6 and the Ezreal.
Man, I wish Shen wasn't banned here. Shen would be such a solid pickup for them right here. Oh, it's going to be the Lee Sin. Wait, is that going to be Nocturne top or is that going to be Lee Sin top? That can be flexed either way. I've actually seen quite a few Nocturnes top lane here. I think it really just depends on what this final pick is for New Age Shadow.
I hope and I think it will be a Lee Sin jungle and a Nocturne top, because I think Nocturne can get a lot of value out of teleport, and the Lee Sin can just be a kick bot later on, so it doesn't really matter if you lose on that front. And I think against the Wukong,
honestly, I think that I think that Lee Sin top lane can actually build slightly differently, so he still does do a lot of damage. He still is a
Okay.
pretty abusive health tank that has a lot of sustain and deals a lot of damage through certain builds. Um, so I've seen Lee Sin's even scale pretty well into the late game, more of as a skirmisher than just a team fighter. So if you're talking
Yeah.
straight team fighting, then yeah, absolutely. You know, his utility definitely falls off. It's not the same. But if your team wants to play scrappy, if your team is looking for execution damage, which they are because it's a Ziggs
Yeah, they have a lot
Ezreal,
of poke.
they're waiting to poke. They're waiting to get that engagement into a Sonic Wave from Lee Sin with a Paranoia from Nocturne. So honestly, I think that the Lee Sin's okay here. Even if they get behind, I don't see they're going to run into too many problems just because Ziggs can wave clear so effectively. You have the defensive spells from Lulu and the survivability from Lulu, as well as the Ezreal going to be helping to wave clear from distance and poking down. So NAS, while they do have a lot of hard engage with the Rakan and Hecarim and even Wukong, I feel like Paranoia just kind of shuts all of that down.
Yeah. And like you were saying with the leasing particularly, I really like the leasing here just because, and I say this because I want to specifically because I want him to be able to push the team forward. Because in reality, if he's able to be an early game menace and do things for the team in the early game and give an advantage for the Ezreal and the Six and the Nocturne, then even if he falls behind, it won't matter because the rest of the team can actually carry the weight just because of how some of the champions will work. And I think that's still really valuable. And he will be able to threaten the Cogmouth from behind and the Victor as well, because those are two champions that don't have the mobility, the enough mobility to be able to run away from the Lee Sin either. So overall, I think the Lee Sin pick can be valuable here, and I really, really want them to send it to the jungle, which they did, which is really
Yep, absolutely here. Um, how do you think lane phase is going to go for each side, and where do you think the most volatile lane is going to be, and why?
mid should be a farm fest. I don't expect them to be able to do anything flashy. I don't know, just because these two are mages that want to farm. Uh, Bottom lane, I think, like last time, should want to fight, but not fight at the start. I think because they have a Rakan, they probably would like to engage, but Ezreal Lulu can have the survivability to just run away even if they get a bad
It's so
engage.
much
Which,
disengage. It's such
yeah,
good disengage.
yeah, so I don't expect them to die, but I think that the teams can try and focus both AD carries. Just because if you give a kill to the Kog'Maw, then your game becomes way easier. But if you kill the Kog'Maw, then your game becomes easier for the side that kills the Kog'Maw. So overall, Kog'Maw can be seen as a win option if you want to focus there. But I think the most volatile one will be the Nocturne Wukong, just because each of those two champions can have the potential to kill each other, and their ultimates can be really valuable in team fights. So whoever of the two is ahead, really ahead, can just turn the game around depending on how they want to play and how far ahead they are.
Yeah, I would actually completely agree with that. And it looks like, I guess, final question before we go into waiting for the game to start. First off, it is going to be Nocturne jungle. It looks like. Um,
Oh,
which which side? Which honestly, I think is probably better against the Wukong matchup. The Lee Sin is just because you have natural sustain
probably
using
is.
that safeguard. So you can life steal up. You have natural life steal. You have natural sustain, and you can poke the Wukong very very safely, even if he does use that clone go invisible. But for the Hecarim and Nocturne, obviously Nocturne's going to be hard farming till 6. Hecarim should be able to get some early ganks off potentially. Where do
Yeah.
you see each jungler putting most of their focus, and why?
And that point that you're making, it's I think the most essential one, the fact that one will probably be able to gank before the other,
Hmm.
because the Nocturne it's not going to really want to gank before getting his paranoia out. So obviously I think he would try and make it so that his pathing will lead him towards bot lane as soon as he can get level 6. So I would expect them to be focusing bot lane. But on the Hecarim, I still feel like the volatile lane in top lane, it's still volatile. And if the Wukong is able to get a kill, even if you have the Ezreal being able to run away, Lulu and Six are two squishy carries, are two squishy champions. And if you can get on top of them, they can die really easily. So I expect the Wukong I expect them to try and funnel the Wukong so that he can go into team fights, being able to try and delete either the Lulu or the Ziggs.
Gotcha. Well, guys, that is going to be it for the pre-game cast here. We are going to get set up for game here, so don't go away. We will be right back with game number 2. Alrighty, guys, welcome back to game number 2 between New Age Shadow and Ithaca College. Representing Ithaca, we have Elrond in the top lane, going to be playing Lee Sin. I see Sandbag in the jungle on Nocturne. I see Garfield's Lazaga in mid lane on that Corki. I see Clouds going to be playing AD carry on Ezreal, and Man Walrus on support Lulu to round out the team comp. Now representing New Age Shadow, we have Bushi in the top lane playing Wukong, the Monkey King himself. We have Silver, Liver, you know. It's Arc. We did it last time too. We're going to be playing Hecarim in the jungle. We have Alterest in mid lane on Victor, Kokma on the Kog'Maw, and Mike Nike going to be rounding out the team comp off with support Rakan here. And just team spreading out, not really looking to be too aggressive.
Yeah, I don't know why, but I think Kog'Maw is a Kog'Maw main. I don't know why. Something tells me that he really likes it.
You're gonna be starting both on bot side. Not too surprised here. Starting on top side always just feels terrible.
Yeah, specifically because if you cannot clear alone, it's not that valuable. In reality, yeah, just it's junglers that want to clear alone that probably would like to start alone in top set because you lose way too much. But overall, this in
And
being
Elrond
able
being
to
able to
push
trade
the
onto Bushi.
low.
Bushi can be able to heal up some, but does not win that trade with the massive amount of minions there.
Yeah, but interestingly, the Lee Sin started with the E instead of going for the W to get the heal back. So even though he's able to push the wave, he needs to be careful because it's a corrupting potion start against that Adoran's shield. He is still, as soon as he hits level 2, I think he probably wins those trades more easily.
Here comes the level 2, and they're actually going to go very aggressive onto Kog'Maw and Mike Nike. I'm actually surprised Man Walrus decided to just go ward while his AD carry was fighting level like 1v2. That was a very questionable decision in my opinion. Yeah, Sonic Wave gonna land, but we don't have a repeat of last game with the Lee Syndrome.
Yeah, but we do have the Hecarim being top.
This is not meant to flame, but is Man Walrus lagging? His skill shots have been, for lack of a better way to say it, atrocious.
A lack of way to say it.
Lack of a better way to say it. Yeah. Bushi going in onto Elrond, and Bushi can be actually getting re-engaged on. And traded back pretty effectively, actually.
Yeah, really importantly is the fact that the Lee Sin is still level 2, and that was because the Hecarim was in topside, so he fell a little bit behind the experience, but now that he's level 3, the trades should go better for the Lee Sin. He should be able to win those, and in the mid lane it has been pretty much...
Well, here comes Hecarim with the Ghost. Lazaga is going to be able to hit him with the... Oh, it's not going to matter. Okay. Yeah. Silver going to be able to pick up the first blood, or sorry, Ultra is going to be able to pick up the first blood with the assist from Silver there. And Garfield's Lazaga probably should have tried to use that satchel charge towards the Raptor camp and then flash the wall on the Raptor camp, but hindsight's always 2020. Always 2020.
He was already being set up for that because he was way too low. He took really bad trades overall. Almost every trade that he took was really uncomfortable for him, and because of that he was really easy to set up. Altruist has been able to set it. Oh wait, they're coming back.
Here comes the return gank, and he's going to get absolutely stunned by the gravity field, and he has no flash here, so he is going to go down. Altruist not going to fall, and that's going to be 2 kills going over. Altruist dying twice here. Here comes... Oh, Silver is going to be taking a lot of damage. That's going to be the fear coming through, and that's going to be a very, very dead Hecarim. Flash is available. Oh my gosh, doesn't need it. And that's going to be a double kill being traded back. You made such a good play, and you threw it in the trash can. Oh my goodness, New Age Shadow, what are you doing? Elrond is now going to be in trouble here. Bushi is going to be able to be in hot pursuit, but good ward jump there. Going to safeguard his way out.
Yeah, and everything was great until it wasn't. They are able to set up the... Oh, wait, Man Walrus.
Here comes the flash forward and the flash away. It's not going to matter. It's the ignite coming through, and that is going to be the kill. Kog'Maw actually going to be picking up that kill.
Yeah, and we were talking about the fact that they could probably engage against the Lulu, but they have better disengage to be able to run away, but they had already taken a really bad trade before. The Lulu was really down on health, and they had to use the hail so that it wasn't going to be as bad for the Lulu overall, but she just walks in back again and then gets engaged really well by Magna and ends up dying. So now Kog'Maw is 1-0 without any interaction from the junglers. That's not something that you want, but luckily the Nocturne is 2-0. It's the champion that you really want to be ahead so that he can pressure the Kog'Maw in these team fights. And the other lanes are still fine enough, even though the Six has died and has lost a lot of minions. He will be able to be important as long as he can farm and get some items.
Yep, absolutely here. And man, Bushi taking so much damage. Good satchel charge that time. But yeah, with that Tempest coming out from Aileron in the top lane, that's just so much damage that's just point click that you can't do anything about. And every single time Bushi tries to trade with him, using that, using the crushing blow from that Q on Wukong, it does count as an auto attack. So every time he does that, he is tanking minions as they will all aggro onto him. Whereas Aileron, whenever he uses that Tempest, does not accrue any kind of minion aggro.
Yeah. It's easier for him to be able to push his wave. And now I was talking about the fact that I would like to listen in the jungle more just because he should be able to put pressure early on. But at this point, it doesn't matter anymore because now Paranoia is up.
Yep.
The Nocturne can just go into these kind of lane gangs with Paranoia and be able to affect the map. And this is the most crucial part because with this, they can begin stacking advantages for the Ezreal, for the Six.
Well, not only that, but he also picked up 2 kills prior to 6 off
Yeah.
of a very questionable play from Silver and Alterest.
Yeah, the thing is now being able to do it because I think the bot lane should be expecting the... Whoa, that's a lot of damage from the Six.
And just
Whoa.
throws the ultimate down just for damage to try to poke him out of lane.
Yeah, probably. I think that could have been good if the Nocturne was threatening being able to use Paranoia because that way you can get the kill even if he flashes away. But still, with that, they can threaten the Drake. They should be able to secure this. And once again, first Drake going for the side of IC.
No wards in the top side. Hecarim looking to make his play
Lee Sin.
through. Lee Sin has the critical information. Oh, no, he doesn't. He's actually... he's taking the Krugs. They think he's walking down, but he's not. And he is going to be engaged on here by Silver on this Hecarim. The Dragon Strike across the wall, and here comes the ultimate back. Is he going to be able to use the Dragon? Oh, yes, it is. He is going to be able to get... Oh, no! Oof. Never mind. Wukong finishes him off with that Cyclone.
Yeah, and I thought Eliron was actually going to be able to just secure around them because he knew that the Hecarim was upside, but no, he just goes into the jungle to try and steal the Crocs. He didn't steal any. He ends up blowing his ultimate. Luckily, he didn't blow his flash, so at least he's not going to lose that much. But I feel like that kill is gonna be really important because Wukong can fight the Lee Sin. It's just that the trades in lane were really bad for him because of the level difference and the easiness for Lee Sin to push the wave. But now with that kill, he can threaten the Lee Sin, and if Hecarim is close by, they can probably force a kill. Wait, why are you going in?
Oh my gosh, Bushi is going to get absolutely one-tapped by oh man.
Just a quick thing. Look at the items from the Lee Sin and the Wukong. Wukong just bought the Phage and the Shin.
He just had longsword.
I don't know why. I really don't.
Icy Cloud's not going to be able to dodge away. There is going to be able to Arcane Shift away. Will that be enough? He's very, very low. One last auto attack of the heal, and the shield's coming through. And Clouds, what? Why? You're out of mana. You're just waiting to get... Yeah. Why? Clouds, you're playing with fire. You burned your summoner spells. What does that get you? Even if you hit those 2 minions, what is it? What is there an extra 30 gold for you? The risk reward this game is absolutely just mind blowing. It's not trying to please anybody, but it's just like, what are you even thinking when you're taking these trades? Or are you just so comfortable in the fact that you won last game? A lot of damage coming through. Here comes Nocturne on it. Oh my gosh, so much damage. The instant teleport from the Victor. They're going to walk their way out.
Really nice play.
And
they can probably kill the
spotted out. They are going for Aileron. Aileron's going to be able to safeguard his way out and could use the Sonic Wave to get back in and is not going to.
Yeah, they disengage. I like this disengage. They probably could have gotten for the kill, but it's not necessary. You already got the kill top lane. It's really
Well, you already got all the prio that you need. You don't actually need to go any further. Go back to your waves. Go back to your play. no need to take a risky play when the risk is no need to go for a high risk low reward play.
Yeah, and something that they can actually do is try and do this, bother the Kog'Maw as much as you can, even though the Rakan is coming in. With that amount of poke, you can probably just not make them not want to engage against you, and you still have the ultimate from the Lulu, so you can at least dissuade that as much as you can.
Absolutely.
I think a really important. Oh wait, I see Sandbag.
Alteress is going to be in trouble. No, the stun actually going to go through. Sandbag going to be brought very, very low. I'm not sure what he spell shield there.
I think he was trying to spell shield the what is it called, the gravity field, but he spell shield the ultimate.
Oh, is that what he spell shielded?
Because the ultimate came down as soon. It was instant, the Chaos Storm, so I think the first tick was blow the spell shield away.
Got it. The initial damage, I gotcha.
Well, that's what I think. I'm not 100. Wait,
that's gonna be not the kill, as Alterest gonna be able to have the fancy forward.
Oh no!
What are you doing? Here comes the Onslaught of Shadows on the backside. A double charm coming through as knockup is going to land on Ezreal. Ezreal does not have Arcane Shift, and he is going to get absolutely plowed by the pony in bot side. They get slowed up by the minefield, and Ziggs going to be able to walk his way out.
Yeah, and that's the advantage of a Ziggs. You don't need to be close to anything. You can just fire your bombs from away, and you will not be damaged by anything. I want to give Valtyrus the benefit of the doubt, even though, yes, it looked bad. It can happen that you walked in because of trying to move away of the bomb, just because you actually expected it to go a little bit to the other side, and that ends up hitting you.
3 times.
It's bad, but yeah.
The bomb was already out, and he stutters up. He had a full second and a half, and he couldn't decide which direction he wanted.
I know it's
to go.
bad, but I feel like that is not the worst mistake. I think the worst mistake is just walking forward and getting so much poke damage before. I think that's the worst part in reality. And then moving into the play on bottom lane, it was way too much of an overcommitment from the side of IC, just because they knew that they were bot side. They knew that the Hecarim was bot side. You can't just leave that turret and try and protect something. Will they try and engage here?
Battle Charge in a great spot to deny anything, and that's going to be the free dragon going over. Sandbag could go in if they want to. Here comes a knockup. The spell shield is going to go through. Cloud's going to actually get ulted here, and a great Ziggs ultimate placement, actually. Yeah. Ultrat's going to get hit by the Sonic Wave. Here comes the cripple, and here comes a lot of the damage. Will it be enough? There it is, the one shot coming out from the Lee Sin. Meanwhile, in the backside, Sandbag is going through, going to be able to get a heal. Exhaust coming out kind of late, though. Kog'Maw was basically one-tapped from dying there. Sandbag going to be trading back onto the Rakan here as Bushi is now in the fray. Not going to hit anyone with the Cyclone as Sandbag going to be able to flash away from the knockup coming out from Mike Knight. Mike Knight is going to be slowed with Silver. Silver is going to be the next to go as we see Mike Knight fall. Ultimate coming out. Cloud and Polymorph actually going on to Silver. Silver is going to be completely routed. Ziggs picks up a double kill, and holy crap! They had no target focus at all from the side of New Age Shadow, and just one by one they died. They couldn't decide if they wanted to fight or flee. Half of them chose fight for half the fight, and the other chose flee, and then vice versa halfway through that fight. And it's... What are we watching?
We're watching a chaotic game of League of Legends, and that went haywire way too quickly for the side of New Age Shadow. And I agree.
Class, right?
Yeah,
this is okay, well, Icy Clouds is going to icy the gray screen pretty soon. Mystic Shot is going to land, but will it be enough? One last auto attack, and Clouds is going to go down.
Just way too many. Oh wait, no more.
Everyone's gonna have to flash the wall. What is the pathing? Why were they even still there? Ezreal dies 5 feet from them, and they're just like, "Oh yeah, that's a nice Ezreal. Yeah, that's my AD carry dying." Is they're all just like standing around with their hands in their pocket? They're like, "Oh crap, we're getting engaged on 2. I guess I should leave now."
Yeah, that to me is one showing of that time where you're playing with your friends and you don't want to leave your friend behind because he's your friend, but he's dead. You have to leave him behind. Just run away.
Help him. As here comes the ultimate paranoia is going to be going in. And Sandbag is actually going to get the fear off in time. He is going to be feared in return, though. As Sandbag going to be able to heal up slightly, going to be able to create some distance through, but he is going to... Oh my gosh, he is barely... Here comes the shield and the speed up and the slow coming out with the polymorph. Silver is going to be taking so much damage, and now Silver's in trouble just trying to pick up something, and that's the classic. I'm behind. I need to get something, and I can't quite finish the kill. He's going to go... Also going to be caught out of position. What is everybody's positioning? Oh! One less Mystic Shot and Kog'Maw is going to fall. What are these teams doing? I mean,
You know, the
listen, man. I
funniest
love
thing.
a good team deathmatch game of League of Legends, but I like it when there's actually good positioning and the team fights are clean. This is about as bronze as diamond gets.
Yeah, that's a pretty good way to just define it. It's just I feel like the hour is hitting us, and the fact that we're at 11 p.m. it's hitting everyone up, and that's why they're playing like this.
Listen, Mike's about to get absolutely shillelied here. No, never mind. Here comes the polymorph from Hecarim. It's going to be able
What
to pull
is
back
polymorph?
Elrond. Oh my gosh, the Sonic
Oh.
Wave missed on a target who can't even move in that direction because there's a structure there. Oh, I'm losing my mind.
I think
Like,
I think it's not you. It's not just you and me. I think a lot of people are losing their minds in this game.
like this is really entertaining to watch, I'm sure, but
Yeah.
I'm just so confused. Tower's
Like
going to be the
I really feel like it's the time. I feel like it's just we're all tired. This is a game really late at night.
God,
It
these are
can
gamers. They're
happen.
used to playing until 4 in the morning.
Yeah, but this is competitive gaming. It's different. I want to say that, but I don't know.
You telling me my solo queue games at 4 in the morning aren't competitive?
I feel like they are like this, honestly.
Some games do feel like that, that's for sure.
One funny thing that I wanna note on before everything devolves once again into complete chaos. Lee Sin Elrond has never been a part of any of those fights or any of the skirmishes that have been going on the bot side. He is just religiously pushing top lane and is stealing away top lane jungle. That's all that he has been doing.
Also, something to note here, it's only late for East Coast, so anybody on the West Coast, this is only 8:30, bro.
That is true. Time zones. I hate them. For me, it's not that late either, so I don't know. I don't know what excuse to bring up. They are just playing really funnily. Let's leave it at that.
I think this is what you call playing with your heart instead of playing with your brain. That's why you don't trust your heart in critical situations. You have to turn that off.
No, don't turn it off. Just don't use it but that much, but don't turn it off.
Listen, when you need to make calculated decisions, absolutely turn it off. Don't trust your heart when you actually have to make critical decisions. That's how you make bad decisions.
That's probably
man.
a really that's actually a really nice, a really good advice.
Oh man.
Runeterra senior class stream where we give advice instead of actually focusing on the game.
Oh man. I mean, hey, that can be advice for League too, man.
Yeah.
It's also like don't go to the grocery store while you're hungry. Like you just end up buying a bunch of stuff you don't need. Because everything looks better.
That is true.
Here comes the ultimate coming in for Sandbag. Sandbag is going to the flash forward and had no regard for what else could be behind it, but Sandbag is going to be able to walk it out as the Rift Herald going through one last auto attack, and that's going to be a double kill coming over for Sandbag and the tower going through. Mike Knight going to be able to keep himself safe, but Kog'Maw going absolutely wild. A shield coming out, and Sandbag is going to get ticked away by that ignite. The flash forward from Kog'Maw. Not sure if that's what they wanted here, as the flash away by Clouds. Actually, that is because the shield bow proc came in just in time. The Cyclone going to be going through. He's going to be going onto the Kog'Maw here, but it doesn't matter. The shield's coming out, and now here comes Lee Sin. Sonic Wave going to be coming through as the kick does not quite land, as Kog'Maw gets absolutely obliterated. Elrond going now on to Bushi. The flash, not sure why that was needed, as the Dragon kick is going to be going through here. Shield coming out as well. Bushi going to be trying to go back in as they are trying to finish him off, and he goes greedy for the kill. Bushi's going to survive, and he's going to go down to the Ziggs. Now, ooh, good dodge there for the Sonic Wave here. Elrond going to be chasing out to Alt-Rest. Going to hit him with the Sonic Wave. And this is kind of what I was talking about, man. A lot of damage coming through. The slow coming through means he's middle of the Ziggs ultimate. Now they're going back. Silver is going to be hit by... Oh, it's going to knock it back. Great heal there coming through, but it's just not going to matter. Elrond is going to be healing up with that shield. Garfield's playing very well across here, making sure he can't get through. Sonic Wave being held. Okay, that was extremely optimistic, as now the paranoia comes through, and finally the fight ends. We have 30 kills almost in 19 minutes.
Make it 30. Will he?
No. That shield coming through from Elrond.
Yeah, it was about to be 30 kills, but yeah, that fight was so long that paranoia was used at the start and at the end of it.
Double paranoia fight, Steve. What is this, Earth?
Yeah, it was a dunk, but at the end of the day, it's just a really good team fight for the side of IC. They win that team fight. Yeah, some members died, but crucially, they get 2 turrets, they get a couple of kills, and the
There's
gold lead now
7,000 gold
has
up too,
balloon. Yeah, look
or
at the gold
8.
lead. It's 8,000 gold lead difference already. It's just they should be able to secure the next team fight as well. The next Drake will come through in 2 minutes 40 seconds, so that will be the soul. And Lee Sin and a Nocturne that will use their ultimates a lot with Cloud Soul. It's just going to be really sad for this Kog'Maw.
Well, not only is it going to be really sad for the Kog'Maw, I mean, but you know, before the game, we were talking about the Lee Sin impact of the game, and I was telling you how he wants these scrappy fights. Well, you
Yeah,
can see the power of a Lee Sin during these scrappy fights, man. This is disgusting. With
especially how
that,
scrappy they've been.
yeah, and with that Gore Drinker, just being able to heal so much constantly, playing around the cooldowns very, very well, and this is kind of exactly what I was talking about with the just the scrappiness that he's able to pull out.
Yeah. Yeah, and when he's ahead against against slow moving carries or no mobility carries like the Kog'Maw, he just gets so much more value just because they cannot escape as easily
Mhm.
in comparison to other AD carries. Like in the last game, the Kai'Sa could be escape the Lee Sin because she had the invisibility and she also had the ultimate to just move behind the Lee Sin. But the Kog'Maw doesn't have
Oh,
that, and she doesn't have the Dudu either.
and it looks like it's going to be a Death's Dance coming out for Elrond next here. And here comes the Paranoia on to the Ziggs, or on, not on the Ziggs, excuse me, onto the Kog'Maw. He's going to be absolutely taken out. Elrond going to be able to safeguard in here, but it's not going to be enough as Silver is going to fall. Elrond not going to be able to do anything into this fight, but Baron is going to be called. And Red Buff not going to be spotted out, but Elrond will be going to be going in, is pink warded, and they don't want to fight that. He can easily 2v1 those two. Mike Knight doesn't have any ability to stop the Lee Sin.
Not anymore, yeah. And sadly, this is just how easy it is for them right now to be able to just engage on the Kog'Maw and kill him, because the Nocturne just presses R, Paranoia comes in, and the Lulu buffs him up with with her ultimate as well, with Wild Growth, and it's just so easy for the Nocturne to get on the backline, survive, and kill the enemy, even with all of that. And the 6 wasn't even close. The Lee Sin came way later into that teamfight, so it's just easy access into easy killing the carry into just moving to the objective. And that's something that they can just repeat and repeat and repeat the longer the game goes on.
Yeah, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeet. Stun going to come out, but it doesn't matter. He doesn't care. I mean, this is going to be Dragon Soul coming out at 23 minutes here.
Once again, it's like last game. They were able to secure a really early soul, and I think funnily they were losing a lot of the fights bot lane, but the dragon control was always really good, and they always secured the Drake even with losing kills early on.
And the thing is like they didn't even have actually dragon control at first. Most like I believe 2 of the dragons were started up by New Age Shadow, and then I just kind of like backed off. And Ithaca College was just like, all right, I guess we get this for free now.
So easy to get these turrets. Yeah, I think that happened with the second Drake mainly. The first one was because a plate happened on topside and they just answered with the bottom one.
Mhm.
But overall, it's just I'm surprised with how little attention New Age Shadow has put on the Drake, or actually setting up the Drake correctly so that they can secure it. Especially with a Kog'Maw and a Hecarim Rakan, they can just put funnel into choke points really easily and do a lot of damage. But they never had that preparation going into the game, going into the Drakes.
And I kind of have a feeling that New Age Shadow is going to take a fight they don't need to, like this, actually, as the Paranoia is going to be used onto the Kog'Maw. Kog'Maw is going to get feared. A lot of damage coming through. Sandbag is going to be able to
Didn't die.
get Wild Growth as well. And oh my gosh, so much damage coming out. That's going to be the flash forward from Icy Clouds. Icy Clouds going absolutely hog wild. Going to have to heal his way out, though, as Kog'Maw taking a lot of damage. Will it be enough? Yes,
Dead.
Star's going to be able to. Bushi is going to be able to survive temporarily. Polymorph going to be on the clone, though, and that is going to be the inhibitor falling. They look like they might try to end the game here.
I think they can. The Kog'Maw is dead. 20 seconds for Kog'Maw, Victor, and Hecarim.
Here comes
That's
the Nocturne going to be shielded up as Mike Nike is going to get absolutely destroyed. The first tower is going to fall, and Bushi going in. Icy Cloud's going to be going golden, and Bushi going to be going, oh, the kick away, making sure he can't get back, and that's the Sonic Wave. And at
That's
25 minutes in the game, we will see IC take game number 2.
Yeah, and once again, 2 quick games from the side of IC. It and both games were kind of similar in the sense that the early game was really scrappy with a lot of fight. Early game and mid game was really scrappy with a lot of fighting. But there's a point where a flip just switch and they can instantly take a really nice fight, win that they took, and rotate it into an objective, which was the Barony bot games. With that, they are able to just push the game, get the soul, and win the game. And I
Well, I
think
think
it's just a
I,
combination of everything that was happening, but I think they thrive better in the chaos because they were able to take advantages out of the complete chaos that was going on in the game.
yeah, I mean, they also have a team comp that wants to play more scrappy too, and
Yeah.
definitely takes advantage of those kinds of fight and that style of fight. Whereas for New Age Shadow, they really wanted to play front to back. They really wanted to protect the Kog'Maw, let him spit, and they decided that they wanted to scrap over and over again. And I think the big difference between these two teams, as far as how this game went, is that every single fight that Ithaca College won, they were able to turn it into objectives, whether it be towers or dragons or Baron or Rift Herald or whatever it was. Whereas New Age Shadow, whenever they got a small victory, they were just content to sit there.
Yeah.
Not push in for vision, not try to take towers. Like even in the early game, they had the lead in bot lane. They killed Ezreal, I believe, what,
A
twice
couple of times, I think.
during the lane phase.
Yeah.
And it's like during that time, what did we see Rakan do? Sit on his hands and not do anything. Like you take that opportunity to go into your opponent's jungle, ward that bot side up, use that time to rotate mid. And sure, he did end up rotating later on in the game towards the very, very end of lane phase. But at the same time, like, sure, you miss a little bit of experience, but give your AD carry some solo experience while you ward up. Make sure that you're keeping your entire team safe when you get those kinds of leads. And unfortunately, we just didn't see it happen. But that being said, guys, that is going to conclude this best of three. Congratulations to Ithaca College with their 2-0 victory over New Age Shadow. And
Pretty well done.
yeah, very, very well done. That last game was a little
Chaotic.
funky, but but yeah, so that is going to be it for the cast today. On behalf of myself, Headmaster Red, TDS, PVS, everybody here at Runeterra Academy, we thank you very much for your viewership and your support. We hope that you tune in next time. That's going to be it for us. Peace.